Is there another way to protest, or are those like the main ones?
Those are the main ones, but you've got, I mean, you can protest a lot of different things. You can protest, say you were denied a homestead exemption. You might want to go in and argue about that. You can argue about whether or not they have you in the right taxing units and all those things. It's just, but 99% of the protests coming across are really based on value
Okay.
because that's where your taxes are coming from. Now there are additional ways to determine unequal appraisal, if that's kind of what you're getting at.
Yeah.
And so, and I don't want to get too far off in the weeds on this, but everything that I've talked about so far is talking about comparable properties, whether it's comparable properties that have sold
Mm-hmm.
or comparable properties that have been appraised for unequal appraisal. We're talking about the sales comparison approach in market value. All of that can go under the heading of, the comparable method. There's another method for unequal appraisal, and I call it the ratio method. So the ratio method is really taking a property that has sold, okay,
Okay.
recently, and then taking the appraisal district's appraisal of that same property and comparing it. How close did they get to the value of the property? When the appraisal district said, here's our appraisal on it, and then it later sells, and you're able to look at that and see, there's going to be what's called a ratio, meaning that's the difference, that's the percentage difference. So if you have a property that sold for $100,000, and still using the round numbers here for just for concept, so you have $100,000 property that's sold, and then you have a $90,000 appraisal on that same property. That's a 90% ratio. Okay.
Okay.
That means that property was underappraised.
Oh,
We're not looking at your property right now. We're just looking at another property.
okay.
So that's a 90%. So you do that same calculation on a bunch of different properties, and you try to find out, okay, can I come up with a sample of properties? Can I come up with a number of them? 6 of them, 10 of them, 15 of them, whatever it happens to be. And then you look at all of those ratios, and some will be zero point 0.9 like that, be below 1.0, and others will be above 1.0. It'd be rare to ever find it exactly at 1.0,
Mm-hmm.
very rare. But what you want to do is you pull the median of all of those ratios. And if it happens to be, say, 0.88, okay, if the median of all of everything was 0.88, you get that median, that 88% applied to your market value. You get a 12% reduction.
Huh.
So it's a lot easier than trying to guess at the adjustments you want to make for differences in property.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that is pure guesswork. Uh, that's where a lot of finagling happens.
Yeah. I'm not trained to do that.
Right. I don't even want to go there. It's so much better just to get a sell, get something objective like a sell price,
Mm-hmm.
and get an appraisal, compare the two, and see if you're above 1.0 or below 1.0. And all you're looking for is stuff that's below 1.0.
Okay.
Just get rid of the stuff, because the law doesn't ask you to come up with a random sample, or it says, can you find properties out there that are below 1.0? Go find those. Bring those back. Don't
Interesting.
find anything else. Find those.
Mm.
Bring them back. That's your sample, and say, I think I should be lowered because all of these other people are being appraised at something lower than what market value is.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
we do all kinds of stuff with that.